People often ask me what it's like being considered retarded, or being trapped in a body that looks retarded. I have seen people on YouTube calling people who stutter or people with cerebral palsy retarded, and I have seen the indignant replies refuting the accusation of retardation. One person here has already called me a monk and told me I should have been drowned at birth, that I bring shame on my family and friends. This video is going to be about what it means to be looked upon as retarded, but it's possibly not going to be what you think it is. I am going to start with a quotation by Dave Hingsberger. They used this restraint on me and another kid. They tied us down to keep us from getting up at night. When you are tied down alongside someone, you are in the same boat as them. Diagnostic labels are used by staff only to divide and confuse you. Asking me to see being called retarded as an insult and to distance myself as fast as possible is asking me to choose a medical over a social category, to renounce my ties to people I went to school and day programs and institutions with, and to demean all of us. I am cognitively disabled. This means that the way I think and learn is not one of the ways that the society I live in plans for. I am a fast learner in some areas and a very slow learner in others. I take in information and my brain sorts it out by pattern, but that sorting out can take a long time. It took me 25 years to figure out how to blow my nose. By the standards of the society I live in, some of the things I learn more slowly are classified as developmental delays. There are many things most people are born knowing instinctively that I am only just figuring out now. I have a vast amount of detailed knowledge, but to deliberately act on and retrieve that knowledge is a slow process, as is acquiring that knowledge. It takes a long time to settle into all the right places in my brain, and a long time to blow out again unless something triggers it. And knowing something does not mean I will recall it when I next need to know it. This means I may seem to need to learn one thing over and over and over again. The word retarded just means slow. A lot of people call me retarded before they get to know me, but I don't know what the big problem is with that. To say that I'm slower than most people at some things, sometimes stunningly so, is accurate, even if the medical diagnosis of mental retardation excludes people like me. I don't know what the big deal is about being thought of as slow. By some standards I am slow, very slow. This does not mean I think it's okay to use the word retarded as a substitute for stupid, or to say stuff like, that guy is such a retard. But just the idea of being slow at something shouldn't be a big deal. Which gets me into the idea that I am trapped in a body that looks retarded. Okay, first, what does looking retarded mean? As far as I can tell, there's a few things. One is that my body moves when people would not expect movement, and does not move when people would expect movement. Another is that my reactions to my surroundings are visibly unusual. A third is that the structure of my body, especially my face and a few other body parts, resembles some of the body structures that doctors seem to love to link to this thing they call mental retardation. I move and respond in unusual ways, but again it's just the way I move. It may have taken me forever to figure out that this body is the thing I inhabit, but I don't feel trapped by it any more than most people do. When people say I'm trapped inside this body, I wonder what they mean by that. I wonder what they expect me to move like. Do they mean that my body is better suited to someone else? Some people who look like me hate their bodies, but shame is learned, and it can be unlearned. There's also this entire idea of a fixed cognitive capacity. Okay, you see me trotting out all this complicated information right now. Sometimes I cannot think with enough abstraction to understand one color from another. Neither of these things are any less a part of how I think than the other. What does this make me retarded sometimes and gifted others? Both at once? Or is the entire idea of this fixed intellectual capacity and an overall general intellectual capacity a little strange to begin with? Keep in mind I'm not trying to belittle the differences between human beings here. I'm not trying to say there's no difference between someone who can multiply 7-digit numbers in his head and someone who will never figure out what a number is to begin with. But I know that when people try to pretend that my intellectual abilities are some kind of static, fixed number, when they try to characterize me as a brilliant mind in an unfortunate body, they are missing essential aspects of me, including the fact that there are lengthy and frequent times when I can handle far less abstraction than most people I know who wear the label retarded. I've heard people say that it's not how we look that matters, it's that we think the same as everyone else. Well, I hate to burst people's bubble, but just because I get to the same kinds of words other people use, doesn't mean I'm using the same path to get there, or that I can always get there at all. My mind is at least as foreign to the norm as my body is, if not more. Gets me to a really important concept, that of personhood and cognitive disability. A lot of people think that cognitively disabled people are not full persons. Some ethicists like Peter Singer even say that people who cannot conceptualize themselves existing over time in a certain sort of way are to be classified as non-persons. By that definition, I've spent large portions of my life as a non-person. But I think the real reason that people put down those they call retarded is because to them cognitive disability means being less of a person. Thinking like the norm is considered being a real person. The rest of us just happen to look human but are not quite people. Since my cognitive abilities change so much and so regularly, I'm well equipped to notice that even when I cannot understand basic things, more basic than most people imagine to be possible not to understand, I am still just as much a person. My objections to the way people think of me are not that they think of me as retarded, it's what they think retarded means. My objections to the way people are underestimated are not tied to whether the people fit some word called retarded or not. They're about people's humanity not being recognized. People assume that we are either demonic parasites, or pitiful children in adult bodies, or sweet and loving angels. But people rarely see those of us who think different as just regular people. Biggest problem I have is people either refusing our personhood or refusing our cognitive disability because they cannot handle the idea of both at once.